Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Apologize for the awkward angle again. This is about the only time I have time to make a video, and I have to do it out here because the other guys are sleeping. But I've been getting a couple messages even up till this day asking about how's the recovery going and stuff like that, and I'm here to give you an update. Unfortunately, there is some news that I have to be honest with myself with, more importantly, but as well as others, because you can't sit here and say that, hey, everything's been going peaches and roses and freaking rainbows and unicorns and stuff like that when it's not. After I made that video about, I can't remember what it was, but how long ago it was about alcohol, but there was a situation where it was around the holidays, and I got tired of just life in general, I guess. Guess that's the reason I drank, right? So I went back out, and it didn't end very good for me. So long story short, I'm not going to bore you with this, but it, first of all, I look back on it, on my last relapse, and I come to the conclusion of several things. Number one is I was living a dry drunk, and basically a dry drunk is a slang term for those of you who don't know. Maybe many of you have heard that, but you're miserable, irritable, and discontent. It's what the AA book says. Basically, not working a program. You know, I went to a couple AA meetings. Never did get a sponsor, because I'm like, okay, well, how hard can this be? You just got to quit drinking. And I did it for quite a while, very successfully, as far as the not drinking goes. But I didn't realize that all the emotion that comes with it that you now got to deal with now that you're drinking, which is resentments, fear, I would say, regret, self-pity, what you did in the past, and that you feel like you can never be forgiven. But this time around, I can honestly say that the last 3 months I've been working a program solid. I was going to say, I can't remember what I was going to say, but solid program, which means I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, working the 12 steps, working a program, doing what AA is telling me to do. And listen, like I said, the whole thing with the religion, I get it, but AA is not a religious program, okay? That's the first thing they'll tell you. It's a spiritual program, which means, and that's my view on it, your higher power can be anything you want. You don't have to believe in the God, right? I just happen to, I always have, but there's people out there that don't. There's millions of people out there that don't. Their higher power can be the AA group. As long as it's something greater than yourself, the AA program can work for you. Now, there's a couple things that I'm probably not going to have time to get into because I don't want to make this a real long video. First of all, I apologize. First and foremost, I can honestly say after that video, I never did get on YouTube and post a video while intoxicated. That's why I stayed away as long as I did, because I was trying to figure myself out. So if you look at me different because I went back out, hey, so be it. I guess that's your choice. But this is part of my program, is that this is the kind of things you need to do. You need to tell it to another human being, whether you know them or not. I did my 5th step with my sponsor now, and I had to get a lot of shit off my chest about resentments towards family, what I felt, they did, but it really made me go into depth this time and think, what did I do wrong? The fact that my family didn't trust me, well, what was my role in that? Well, I lied about drinking. I said I was sober when I was intoxicated, clearly, and they knew it. There's just a lot of things, personal things too that I don't want to get into, but I gave them a reason not to trust me. So I can't sit here and be mad because if I don't answer my phone when they call, or if I don't check in like I usually do, or I'm nowhere to be found, naturally they're going to think, oh my God, he's out drinking again. Well, that's because in previous times, that is the truth. That was the problem. So I can't sit out here now and be mad, even to this day, about them getting a little nervous, like, oh, he's not checking in, he's not responding, something ain't right, when indeed everything is fine. But I can't get mad at my family for that, because I put them in a situation to feel that way. It's just as simple as that. They didn't wake up one day and say, hey, let's not trust Dustin on what he's doing. Let's just pick on him. No, it's because I've done certain things in certain situations where I've given them reason to have a doubt. So it took me a long time to get that. That was my resentments is the number one offender of why alcoholics relapse. And it'll tell you that right in the AA book. I'm not sure what page it is, but I know it's in the chapter how it works. And, God, it's just crazy, man. The AA book, if you actually sit down and read that, any problems you're dealing with, like in life, if you're having a bad day, you're thinking certain ways, that AA book, I'm telling you, it's like a godsend to me, because it describes, there hasn't been one thing I haven't wondered that isn't described in some way, in some form in the AA book. Maybe not exactly my situation, but something like it. And that's what's amazing to me about the AA book, or the big book, is because, well, first of all, yeah, literally, just so you guys know I'm not full of shit. And I guess it doesn't matter, but yeah, there you go. I got a big Alcoholics Anonymous book right there, and this is the big print version, by the way. And I also got this right here. This is what a 3-month coin looks like. I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to see that. I know the freaking lighting in here is terrible. But, yeah. And I don't use that to, just show off or whatever the case is. Because I know there's a ton of people out there still struggling. But it just goes to show that I'm doing what I'm saying I'm doing. I'm being accountable, and I'm doing what I'm doing. So yes, I got my 3-month chip 2 days ago. Again, I had to redo it. But whatever. It is what it is. All I can tell you is ever since this last go around, and I did what I was supposed to do and actually admitted defeat, that hey, I can't handle this shit. It's obvious. It's been proven time and time again. I'll just give you guys a little brief. Alcohol is... Here's why I say it's the worst drug, okay? It's virtually inexpensive. I mean, if you got pocket change, guys, if you got $5 and change, you could go right to your local convenience store and get not just a couple drinks, but like powerful malt beverages that are 10, 12, 14%. You can get 2 24-ounce cans for under $5 in most places. Did that many a times. So it's inexpensive and it's easy to get. It's everywhere. And actually, a guy at AA, he has an insane amount of years sober. I can't remember exactly, but it was in the 40s. It's 40-something years, okay? He says in his experience, most alcoholics actually don't die in their active addiction. They die when they relapse. And it got me thinking, like, wow, really? I'm like, no way. But it makes sense. Because if an alcoholic relapses, eventually, not right away, that wasn't the case with me, but you go right back to where you try to go right back to where you left off. It's true. Maybe not right away, maybe not in the first couple weeks, but guess what? I know that's when I finally figured out, okay, I got a problem. And this is not, I finally admitted defeat. Now, am I invisible? No. Could I have another relapse? Absolutely. But I just know for right now, at this moment, I don't have to drink. And that's the most important thing. And another thing I want to, how does it, how do you how do you deal with the life events? Because it's going to happen. Now you don't have alcohol to numb it. Well, this may sound harsh, but guys, honestly, you just got to quit giving a shit what people think of you to a certain extent. I mean, you got to care what your boss thinks of you, because obviously he holds your job, or whatever. You want to care, what your family thinks. But hey, there's been certain situations where there's certain family members that I had to not necessarily cut out, but I say, hey, I have to have limited contact with you because you're waiting for me to fail again. And reasonably so, I gave you that reason, like I've stated, but I don't need that negativity. You don't need to be around negative people. That's why I debated on even just coming back on YouTube, maybe just deleting all social media in general. The reason I'm doing this is because if it can help another person not go through what I went through, and there's people out there that have been through way worse than I have. There's people sitting in prison over this addiction. There's people dead over this addiction. There's other people that have innocently died because of another addict's behavior. This disease, guys, is real. And the sooner I realized that, the better off I was. Now, listen, I can't sit here and say I'm never going to drink again. I don't want to. I didn't want to when I relapsed. It was so natural to me to finally just have enough stressed where I finally said, fuck it. What is a couple beers going to hurt? Maybe I'm not an alcoholic. Maybe I never tried socially drinking. Let's just try that. The scary part about it is it did work for a while. I'm like, I got this. Well, guess what? Pretty soon that 6-pack of beer didn't cut it anymore. Then pretty soon I had to go to a 12-pack again. Then pretty soon a case. Pretty soon then malt beverages, because beer wasn't working anymore. I was getting full. Then guess what? Back to liquor. Because I had it in my head, if I stay away from liquor, I'll be fine. Well, that's when I knew this last time that it's no joke, man. What the AA book says happens actually happens. And I'm fortunate. I don't have legal charges pending on me because of my drinking. I easily could have. And I realize how lucky I am, or I shouldn't say lucky. I don't use the word lucky or coincidence anymore. It's all a blessing to me. That's what my higher power tells me. So like I said, guys, it's tough, man. It sucks. It sucks dealing with life and not having something you can run to get your mind off it for a while. I mean, you can. It takes time. I got to find something I enjoy. Like right now, I'm playing the shit out of video games. Sometimes that stresses me out more, but the point of the matter is I just know that alcohol is just something I can't do because I can't handle it. There's a lot of people right now that are drinking that can't handle it. They just don't know it. And listen, if you can quit by yourself and not have AA, well, more power to you. I happen to need AA. And anybody out there who's being a dry drunk, two things are going to happen. Either you're going to live miserable the rest of your life, or you're going to end up drinking again. That's just what's going to happen. Tells you in the book, and I've lived it. It's going to happen. But if I'm working a program and I talk to people and I open up and do what I'm doing, even like right now, I mean, I don't know any of you people. You don't know me. If I seen you walking down the street, I wouldn't even know who the hell you are. But it helps me talk about stuff like this and have people that get it and understand it. My God, that alcohol withdrawal vid I did, a year and a half ago? That's one of my most viewed videos on YouTube. It's crazy. It just goes to show you it ain't just me, or ain't a handful of people, and it ain't the bum sitting on the street with a bag in his hand. It affects even the smartest people in the world. Look at all the celebrities that are struggling with addiction. Look how many celebrities have died because of addiction. And you gotta surrender. What I mean by that is you gotta just let it go. Because there ain't no treatment center, there ain't no amount of money gonna help you if you got the mentality that you're gonna drink, it ain't gonna matter. That's just the fact of it. Might sound harsh, but that's what I got told. And that's just the fact of it. It's just like my family says, hey, Dustin, you could get your own place and drink like a fish, and you could hide it from everybody. But your employer is eventually going to notice it, whoever that might be. And it's right. But you know what? I've decided that I like waking up in the morning. I like being able to eat. I don't miss being hungover. I don't miss being crabby. I don't miss puking every freaking morning. Jeepers cripes, every morning I dry heaved. I mean, it was miserable. It's like, why am I doing this to myself? And I get that question. And people who are not struggling with this, it ain't their fault. They don't get it, and they won't, and they probably never will get it. If they don't live it and they don't know what it's like, oh my God, your liver's failing and you're puking and you're dry heaving and you're puking up blood. I mean, I'm sorry to get graphic, but that's just the way it is. And the normal person wouldn't say, well, why don't you just stop? I don't know. Another thing real quick, I know this video is going long, but this is just stuff I have to get off. And like I said, it helps me. If it helps you, great. If it don't help you, great. I mean, honestly, guys, how do I say this? You can't really say this without sounding like half a jackass, but it is what it is. You're on your own in this world, people. That's just the way it is. Nobody gives a shit about you. Honestly, if you drop dead right now, who's going to care 10 years from now, besides maybe a handful of people being your family? And to me, that's all I need. But honestly, it's just the fact of life. You got to quit feeling sorry for yourself, because nobody else feels sorry for you. Guess what? The world keeps spinning. That's just the way it is. Now, I know that might sound real harsh, but guys, honestly, I believe that human beings don't do anything without expecting something in return. That's just the way it is. Why do we drink? Well, we get something in return, don't we? We get drunk, we get sloppy, we feel good. Why do we do drugs? Well, I don't do drugs, but people who do drugs, why do they do it? Do they just wake up one day and say, hey, I'm going to pop a bunch of pills just for the fuck of it? No. Or am I going to stick a needle in my arm just because of it? Because it looks cool? No. They do it because they get an effect, right? Challenge yourself on this. I see this all the time. I just do it because it makes me feel good. But if I hold the door open for somebody in public and they don't say anything, I've gotten over this. But what's the first thing you're going to think? Well, gee, that jackass. Son of a bitch, if I'd known he wasn't going to say anything, I'd slam the door in his face, right? Tell me I'm wrong. I mean, because 99% of the time, that's what you would think. So you expected something in return. So what I'm saying is guys, do what's good for you. Don't expect anything in return. That's just the way it is. If you want to be nice, great. There's nothing wrong being a nice person. But unfortunately, some people, they look at that as a welcome mat. They don't look at it as, hey, this guy is nice, let's treat him nice back. They're like, most people are going to say, hey, look at this dumb fucker, he's a welcome mat. We can take advantage of him. That's just the way it is. I'm nice. If you see me on the street, I'd say hi. But it just, I know I'm rambling. It's a long video, but you guys want to know, I've given you proof that I actually do go to AA. And, which, to me, if you don't believe me or not, I really could give a shit. But, I'm doing this for myself, and I'm doing it because it makes me feel better. It tells you right in here. It's in one of the first pages. It's a selfish program. And the one thing I disagree with AA on, the only thing, really, someone's having a bad day and someone is mean to you and I'm supposed to pray for them? Really? I'm supposed to pray for them that they have a better life because they treated me like a jackass. No, I'm sorry. Fuck that guy. I don't care. I know I'll get over that maybe someday. I'm still fresh in this. But hey, if somebody treats me like shit, I'm not going to pray for them. Fuck that person. What the fuck do I care? They obviously ain't going to pray for me, so why should I go through the effort and pray for them? A kid going through cancer that he can't help, that's somebody you pray for. A guy that's walking around and got too much money in his pocket being a fuckhead, thinking he's better than everybody, I'm supposed to pray for that guy? Fuck him. No thanks. Anyways, it's going good. I'm glad you guys are watching my videos, and I really hope this helps another person. So, take care, guys.